your coach, Faisal Insan. I wanted to do a video on experts. Well, since I am an expert in my industry, I thought I would give you some warnings about experts. So the video title can be Aware of Experts. And one of the reasons I bring this up, because I had a session this past week with one of my clients, and he said something, a quote from Grant Cardone, who's one of the influencers in the personal development, sales, and real estate world. And the quote went along the lines of, if life pushes you, you push harder. Something like that. I don't know the exact quote, and I don't even know if he said it, but that's what the client heard. In that moment, it made me think of the impact of that quote on that client. Now, this client of mine is in sales, so obviously he's influenced by someone who's an expert in sales, which is great. I have nothing against Grant Cardone. I think he's an inspiring human being, and he's created an amazing business for himself, and he's inspired so many other people to go towards their dreams. So he's a great guy on that, and I don't know him personally, but the things that he has done, I respect. So it's not a bash against, I'm not bashing Grant Cardone here. What I wanted to talk about is, how do experts in the world influence us? So these experts can be experts in the personal development world, like myself, or could be an expert within the scientific community, could be an expert in let's say in finance, could be an expert in business, real estate, all sorts of things. Now, we're always seeking experts and role models because we know as much as we know, and past that we need to be inspired or given the tools, knowledge, and ability to go towards the life that we're creating. Now, that is great. Nothing wrong with that. I love that. We all need role models in our life. Now, here's the warning. The warning is that every expert will have their perspective and their own biases, just like every human being does. And there will be a time where you will be inspired by an expert and you start to follow them because they have created a lifestyle or business or something that you want in your life, and you're trying to model after them or emulate them. Now, while you can emulate certain aspects of an expert, what I see a lot with my clients and other people who follow other experts is that we tend to get pulled in by that person and we want to emulate every aspect of that person. Now, here's the problem with that. The problem with that is that you could be a very different person in your core, and while you might get inspired by certain aspects of an expert or somebody you're following, but it might not align with who you are or who you want to be as a human being or the vision that you have for your life. And there's the key. So one of the things that I help my clients do is build a powerful vision for themselves, for who they are, for their life, and then for who they are, and have a plan to go towards that vision. And almost everything that they go on that path, towards that path, becomes, they have to do a check with their vision and the person that they're trying to be, the life that they're trying to create, the person that they're trying to be in. Their life could be their business world, personal world, so the professional and personal world, and the things they want to do, the experiences they want to have, the ways they want to contribute, and the ideal self that they see in the next few years, say 5 to 10 years. So if once someone is clear about those things, then no matter what advice you get or who you follow, it doesn't matter. So for example, for me, I mean, there are things I've watched podcasts where Grant Cardone is in. I don't feel aligned with him as a human being. Like, I think it's great the things that he's done, but those are not the things that I want to do. I am inspired by him because he's created an amazing life for himself, but I don't necessarily follow every aspect of him. There are things that I take from him and that I use. There are things that I throw away. And that's how experts need to be used. And the reason I know this is because ask me how I know there. I've fallen for a lot of experts' advice and ways of doing things, but when I tried them, like, they did not apply to me. And the reason they didn't apply to me was because it didn't feel in alignment with who I am and my vision for life, what I connect with as a human being. And the reason I'm bringing this to your attention is that if we don't understand who we are at our core, if we don't understand our vision for life, if we don't understand the path by which we're going towards it, if we don't have clarity around those things, we'll fall for all sorts of things by all sorts of experts who can prove one thing or another thing, contradictory ideas. One expert will prove that, for example, pushback, what Grant Cardone said, life pushes back harder. He'll give you all sorts of stories and evidence that will support that idea, but then you'll find another expert that has a completely different idea about life, is that life flows. You flow with life. If you try to go against it, you're going to see a lot of challenges and suffering. So then who do you listen to? Well, you need to figure out who you are at your core. You need to connect with what kind of life you want. You need to connect with what is it that you're going towards. This is why it becomes very important, and when I'm talking to clients, I always ask them, why is it that you want to do all the things that you want to do? I mean, it's great that you want to have all the money, the business, the lifestyle that you want, but why is it so important to you? How is that connected to who you are? And how's that going to serve your family, your community? Can you paint me a picture of that future that you're envisioning? And I get more and more specific to get them connected to what they're really trying to do and who they are at their core. And when they start to do that, they become clear as to, oh, there's something, I can do this, but I don't need to do the other thing. And I'm going on an uphill walk, so you might hear me breathing a little weirdly. So in any case, the point here becomes that for us to go on our path, we need to know what that path is. We need to know what our vision is. We need to know who we are, or who we are at this moment, and the person that we're trying to be, our ideal self, and also a map to go there, a general map of what our goals are towards that vision. If we are not clear about that, we're gonna fall for all kinds of ideas and thoughts and ways of doing things that will not work for us. And one thing I want to challenge you to think about and do is, and I did that for one of my last videos, is to really think about your life. Take some time to sit down and think back to your life, how you grew up, the experiences that you went through, how you reacted to them, and what are you trying to create in your life? What are your dreams? Become open about that. And really think about the kind of person you want to become. Like, become specific. What kind of person do you want? Do you want to become a successful person? What does that successful person look like? What kind of values would he have? What kind of life would he create? What kind of business or professional life would he create? How would that person connect with others in an ideal way? And the more specific you get, the better it will be for you. And this will help you become clear as to what kind of advice you're going to follow, what kind of things you're going to try in your life, and who are some people that are going to inspire you to go on that path. And so I hope you saw what I was trying to get you to see there, because the reason I brought this up is because I've, like I mentioned, I've fallen for all sorts of advice over the course of the last 15 years or so of finding my own path. And while that's okay, because that's a path of growth, a lot of them I didn't need to go through. If I knew who I was, or at least I had an idea of what my vision, my path, and who I was, then I wouldn't fall for a lot of those. I might take a part of that person's inspiration or knowledge and leave the rest aside, not follow them to the core. So I hope this will help you save some emotional pain, some time from trial and error, and I hope it makes you more aware as to what kind of information and knowledge and inspiration that you need to move your life forward. And aside from that, if you have any thoughts, any questions, any ideas, please post those below, If you needed me to talk about a specific topic, please let me know. I'd love to do that. If you post any of your comments, I'll personally make sure I answer them. And make sure you share this video with somebody who seems to be on a path that's not aligned with who they are, and they keep falling for all kinds of expert advice that are not moving them forward towards what they want to do. In any case, have a wonderful day. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.